Ethics in journalism. Now, Gandhian ethics on journalism. The sole aim of journalism. What is the sole aim of journalism? It should be service. The newspaper is a great power, but just as an unchanged torrent of water submerges the whole countryside and devastates the crops. Even so, an uncontrolled pen serves but to destroy, as said by Mahatma Gandhi. Idea of social responsibility. While recognizing that newspaper is a great power, Mahatma Gandhi himself, a great journalist and editor, was very clear about the objectives of journalism and why it shouldn't be an unchained torrent of water. He wasn't referring to external curbs or control on free speech and freedom of press, both of which he always supported and fought for. Instead, he was articulating the idea of social responsibility of journalism. This, simply put, means that journalism must be socially responsible, serve the people with devotion, and educate them while avoiding sensationalism, distortion, and manipulation of facts in the news reports, and not compromise with ethical standards of journalism just for profit. What is the importance of journalism? It is the voice of voiceless. As the fourth estate of democracy and voice of voiceless, the news media and the institution of journalism plays a crucial role for keeping the citizens informed about powerful instruments of public information, opinion, and debates. Public watchdog. One cannot imagine a vibrant democracy without a vibrant, independent, and critical news media, which not only disseminates news and views of public importance but also acts as a watchdog that monitors, investigates, and critically examines the functioning of key organs and institutions of state and evaluates the performance of those in public office and holds them accountable. Enhances vibrance of democracy. An independent news media which includes legacy media like newspaper, magazines, television, radio, and new media like online news portals and digital news platforms has been integral to democracy's long and tumultuous journey. Over time, it has evolved with democracy, especially in the late 19th and 20th century. There and vibrant media is treated as a key parameter for the success of a democracy and in fact is among the crucial factors in measuring its health. Shaping the public perception. Journalism has an influential role in shaping public perception, setting the agenda for public debate and its widespread impact on society, politics, economy, culture, and governance. News media and journalism enjoy a powerful position in a democratic society. Napoleon Bonaparte had once famously said, "Four hostile newspapers are more to be feared than 1,000 bayonets." Now, what are the features of responsible journalism? There should be transparency and accountability. The credibility and respect doesn't come free or as a gift to the news media, but earned and sustained by adhering to ethical and moral standards of journalism. News media must also follow the principles and norms of journalism and be transparent and accountable for its reportage, commentary, and overall functioning. Maintaining journalistic ethics. Like other public facing professions, journalism too also has evolved with a set of ethical principles, standards, and norms for fulfilling its social responsibility and serving the citizens better by ensuring the quality of content and highest professional standards in gathering, processing, filtering, and dissemination of news and views. Journalistic ethics are basically a set of principles, standard guidelines, code of conduct prepared for professional journalists. It deals with conduct, character, and behavior of a journalist and how he or she works before, during, and after the news gathering and dissemination process. Self-regulation. Generally, it is expected from the news media outlets and its professional journalists to not only strictly follow these principles and norms, but to also self-regulate in alignment with them. But given the non-mandatory and voluntary nature of journalistic ethics, there are always complaints of violation by journalists and news media outlets. There is no denying the fact that a section of news media outlets are either willingly or unwillingly deviating from or compromising on journalistic ethics to attract more readers or viewers for some personal gains and generally at the altar of commercial interest and to boost their bottom lines. Issues with journalism in India. Erosion of ethics in journalism. In India, instances of violation of ethical norms and principles from indulging in paid news, spreading fake news, engaging sensationalism, and exaggerating trivial stories, creating misleading headlines, breach of privacy, distortion of facts has increased manifold. Biased reporting, openly taking sides and bias in reporting. Besides this, many mainstream news media outlets and their journalists are found to be engaging in one-sided media trials, lobbying for personal gains, blackmailing, manipulating news stories, engaging in malicious and defamatory reporting, running propaganda and disinformation campaigns. Misuse of freedom of speech and press. There is growing concern in the country that many Indian news media outlets have shown little respect for journalistic ethics and norms by regularly crossing the limits and becoming habitual offenders. In fact, the critics of unethical conduct of news media are demanding stringent regulation in place of ineffective self-regulatory mechanism, and their voices are growing louder day by day. It may be noted that like many other liberal democracies, India too recognizes the primacy of freedom of press and allows for self-regulation of news media. Manipulation of TRPs. Recently, various claims have been made about the manipulation of TRPs, that is, target rating points, by some TV channels by rigging the devices used by Broadcast Audience Research Council (BARC) India. TRP is the metric used by marketing and advertising agencies to evaluate viewership. It represents how many people from which socio-economic categories watch which channels for how much time during a particular period. This period is 1 minute as per the international standards. The reforms that were initiated in the United States of America. Pollution of democratic discourse. Earlier, due to yellow journalism, newspapers in USA were riddled with sensational crime stories with exaggerated headlines, pictures and sketches. There was cutthroat competition and a mad rush to attract more readers and maximizing the profits for newspapers owners. But this was also polluting the democratic discourse, distorting the public opinion, impairing the citizens' right and negatively affecting their democratic choices and decisions. Campaign for reforms. Slowly, a concerted campaign started in the US and many other countries in early 20th century to bring in ethics and principles with a set of guidelines and code of conduct for news media and journalists. Hatchkins Commission. The commission was established to review the functioning of press and impact of media ownership on its context. The commission reiterated that while the freedom of press is paramount, it also has a moral obligation to consider the well-being of general public when making its decisions and choices. It provides a strong philosophical basis for adopting these ethical norms and standards for improving the quality of news and journalism. The report echoed Gandhi's concern for an uncontrollable path, while stressing that its sole aim should be service. So the main aim of journalism should be service. Yellow journalism. It is a style of newspaper reporting that emphasizes sensationalism over facts. In this, the use of lucid features and sensationalized news in newspaper publishing to attract readers and increase circulation. The phrase was coined in 1890s to describe the tactics employed in furious competition between two New York City newspapers, The World and the Journal. The acts and agencies which regulate the journalism. The Press Council of India, a statutory and quasi-judicial body, was established by an Act of Parliament. It functions as a watchdog of the press, for the press and by the press. Its two broad objectives are safeguarding the freedom of press and to improve its quality and standards. It works on the premise of self-regulation of print media but has no punitive powers. It can only censure, warn or ask newspapers to issue apologies and corrections. It has also put out a detailed norms of journalistic conduct which it expects journalists and newspapers to follow with utmost care and diligence. Then comes the Standard Authority (NBSA). It is a non-government body. It oversees the news channels. It has issued a code of ethics and broadcasting standards for its member news channels and has voluntarily pledged to follow it. Like the Press Council of India, the NBSA too is headed by a retired Supreme Court judge and its other members comprise well-known people belonging to civil society and editors of TV news channels. It receives complaints of violation of technical norms against member TV news channel and decides after hearing all the sides. Additionally, it has the power of imposing a fine that can go up to rupees 1 lakh against an errant news channel. Then comes Cable Television Networks Regulation Act 1995. Apart from NBSA, the news channels are also regulated by Ministry of Information and Broadcast under the Cable Television Network Regulation Act 1995, which contains a program code and an advertising code to which news channels have to adhere. Their adherence to this code is in fact of the preconditions for obtaining the license for a news channel. The Information and Broadcasting Ministry on some rare occasion for violation of program code has taken strict action against errant channels like while on others has issued advisories to the news channels. So this is all about journalism in India and this can be asked as a mains question and it will be very helpful if you write this answer perfectly. Please click the link in the description box to join the 14-day IAS Breakthrough Blueprint Masterclass.